All right. So, the thingy over on Twitter, X, right? We got some news, boys and girls. We got some news, man. Right. It's funny how, like, you know, we don't get told this by Warner Brothers or NetherRealm, Ed Boon, or anyone like that. We have to find this stuff out on our own. You know, considering that Warner Brothers have a pretty horrific track history of just being monetization heavy in their games. MK11 was egregious. MK11 was horrific. Awful, right? Because, you know, the entire crypt was a loot box. You know, you had the Towers of Time, and then they made the grind so bad that they put their shop right there with just enough incentive to get you to try and part with your real world money. And as it turns out, this is what the Dragon Crystals are for, right? It is in-game currency that you purchase, right? And you'll be able to purchase with real money, right? I guarantee it that you'll be able to buy Dragon Crystals currency to then use in the game. Now, a lot of games do this sort of stuff, I understand, but to what level of grind, excuse me, what level of grind are they going to have? Which means that this starts to become almost a necessity for people, as opposed to a like, look, I can't be bothered, I'm just going to pay for it type mentality. Dragon Crystals to purchase cosmetic features for your fighters, such as skins, palettes, gear, and more. Right? Now, there is an image I will add to this, right? Excuse me. No. There we go. Right. So that's what the Dragon Crystals look like. At first thought there was like one currency, it looked like Chinese coin, and I thought, oh, well, you know, what if that's it? No. No. There looks like there's at least like 3 different types of currencies in this game. And that's not including this one. Right? That's what they look like. Okay. And the reason why people are finding this out, including like, you know, Shang Tsung and things like that, is because it's getting so close to release date. The console stores have to update. You know, they have to put everything in there that you're going to be accessing, that you've paid for, or will potentially pay for. Right? And since Shang Tsung is made available essentially day one, I'm assuming you can purchase him separate, right? Or I'm assuming, but he at the very least is day one for every pre-purchaser out there. Right? Then they have to make sure that we all know as customers what's available. And part of that is a description on what this particular currency is. We're not getting, you know, 1,250 gold dragon coins, or dragon or silver dragon coins, or other sort of like Fengjian coin, or whatever the hell that, you know, Chinese coin was. No. We're not getting any of that. Right? It is very specifically this, because this will be the currency that you either use A, to purchase directly the stuff that it mentions, or B, convert into further in-game currency to then purchase that stuff. For example, you buy 1,000 Dragon Crystals, you can convert it into like say 800 gold dragon, like, you know, icon currency, or dragon emblem currency, or whatever, right? Oh god, like, and the crappy part is that we have to find this out like this, right? God bless the Thinny for posting this. It's great work. But this is how we have to find out. The companies aren't coming out and telling us because it raises too many questions. Too many questions, right? So this is the problem. What is the grind level going to be like? How much of an incentive is it going to be that when we look at this grind, right? How much of an incentive is it going to be? I'm hoping I am wrong. I want to be wrong. I want people to be able to come back to this video and other videos where I've talked about this and say, you wrong, you bald clown. And that'll be the best news ever, right? But I'll know day one because I pre-ordered it. So I'm going to start like figuring that stuff out pretty quick. Because I think from memory when MK11 came out, it was something ridiculous. It was some ridiculous number that in order to purchase everything in the game, it was like some massive, like thousands of dollars or something number. If you decided to ignore the grind. But because the grind was so bad, you know, like, and this is why I think, so they've had to be careful, right? Because loot boxing and stuff is heavily frowned upon. It's outlawed in some countries. They can't rely on that really bad model anymore. So what I think they've done is, you know, this new setup, and I like Invasion, so it looks good, right? And they'll make it so that you can sort of purchase, you know, obviously purchase Dragon Crystals to negate getting around some of that. Now listen, this is the other thing too. The third thing, the currency could be for stuff that isn't in Invasions, right? They are obviously going to have some sort of in-game store, no doubt, right? Somebody mentioned the other day about the fact that Dragon Crystals will probably be used for buying future seasons, or the season passes, if you will, right? Okay, like, you know, like that's a fairly standard fare. I would prefer though that if you miss out on finishing that season, it goes into an archive that you can work on, you know, and still unlock everything that you've paid for. You paid for access to the season pass. Don't just take it away. There's a Hot Wheels game on that came out a couple of years ago, wherever. Heavily egregious, right? Because you pay for the season pass, and if you didn't get to finish it all, then it just goes away, and you lose the rest of the access to the ability to level up the rest of that season pass. It's awful, and I'm sure other games do it too. It should never do that. This FOMO attitude is just really, really bad, right? People hate it. Everyone hates it. So just make it. This is the thing that like developers and corporations don't understand. It's not hard to please us gamers. It really isn't. Just do the right thing by us, and it'll just be smooth sailing, bro. So the Dragon Crystals could be a currency conversion, right? It could be a fourth currency or whatever it is in the game to buy stuff through the Invasions mode, but I don't think so. What I think the more I think about it, I think it really will be an in-game store, right? With probably seasonal themed things like, you know, like that Scorpion like illustration that we've seen to like for the new set, like the first season for Invasions for MK1. Looks amazing. Who wouldn't pay money for that skin? And that's the thing though, right? So it's either for very specific things, right? So you've got the season pass that you can buy, or maybe it's automatically available to everyone, right? Another thing too is that the Dragon Crystals could pay for skips as well. You can skip levels. A lot of games do that because some people just don't have the time. And I understand. I listen, if there's lots of different ways to get there, great. Don't make it one way, and that one way being, oh, you know, well, the fastest way is if you part with your money. No. It should never be like that at all. Okay? So I have no doubt there'll be like an in-game store, because they mentioned specifically cosmetic features, skins, palettes, gear, and more. That stuff, we know you can unlock in Invasions. We don't have to pay for it in Invasions. So I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of store in the game, right? That'll have something. Now, this is the other thing too, and I prefer this, if they do it, which it seems like they are. Make it so that the stuff you can't access in the game anywhere. Buy this brand new Scorpion skin. Can I unlock it anywhere else in the game? No. Okay. Sold or not, right? I prefer that. Okay. To be honest, I prefer that because it looks like there's going to be a lot of content anyway to unlock. I understand companies trying to make a buck, trying to keep the boat afloat when it comes to, making sure their product is profitable well after launch, because eventually everyone will burn through all the content and they're going to need people to sort of keep feeding into it. That's why the seasons last for 3 months apiece. So you have an online, like an in-game store, but done properly. Make it stuff you can't buy anywhere else. Sorry, you can't unlock anywhere else. That would be ideal, right? Then that way, you go, okay, fair enough, right? And then you can go, I don't like that or I do like that, right? I don't mind that. You might need it to buy the seasons, perhaps, like somebody said. Okay, all right, fair enough. A lot of games do it, if that's your thing. Obviously it doesn't, I don't think you'll be using it to unlock extra stuff within Invasions themselves. I think you'll go through all the invasion areas, you'll unlock everything will be made available. The downside is that in order to beat some of the challenges, you have to craft or get certain things. If the grind to get hold of those specific things is going to be a pain, and then there's kind of like this little pointy arrow pointing to the dragon crystals and going, but if you spend say $5 to get 600 dragon crystals or whatever, you can then just buy the ingredients just like that and move forward. This is the nitty gritty stuff that we don't know about, that we need to know about, right? It's not up to me. This is why I can't stand shells and stuff, right? Because people are like, oh well, you just have to you just have to trust. No, I'm not trusting, bro, right? I've already done that with my pre-purchase, and believe me, if for something really egregious came out, and it was so bad, I'm well within my rights to refund it, as is everyone. Okay. The fact that they haven't talked about this, the fact that we have to, like I'm doing right now, go into all of this, possible assessment of what this stuff, in terms of how it's going to be implemented, right? Things like the skins, like for Sub-Zero and Tanya, the what was it, the Day of the Dead skins or whatever they were, or whatever, right? They'll probably be store-bought dragon crystal skins, and that's fine. They're out of everything else, right? You still got a ton of stuff to unlock. That's just in there trying to wet your whistle, going, hey, by the way, do you want some of this as well or not? Fine, okay, but we don't know, and that's the problem. We don't know. So, but anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Catch you next time.